Welcome to the Dad Exchange. I'm your host, Tommy T. And on this podcast, we talk about dad stories, the dad experience, the dad journey into life and just fatherhood and all itself. Today, I have a really, really special guest. He's a big brother to me, a mentor. I met him when I was 25, 26 years. No, I was maybe 24. I was grown, met him, and he gave me a job. And from that point on, we was inseparable. Today we are talking with Antonio McMath. What's up, man?
How you doing? I like how you said my name, Antonio McMath.
That's I mean,
Okay,
like that's
I'm doing good, though. I'm doing amazing.
how you say your name.
Antonio
Yeah,
McMath.
right.
I just rolled it all
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Tomato, tomato.
You
How you
know,
doing, man?
you and man, I've been doing amazing. I really,
Yeah,
really
it's
have.
been a minute since I talked to you and seen you face to
It
face.
has been. There's some stuff I haven't told you
Is
too,
it?
but hey, we'll talk about that stuff later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a you. You pretty much know everything so far. Ain't nothing new happened for me. No new babies.
Well, it was new, but
It's
I just wasn't sharing it
oh
with
okay,
everybody.
okay. Yeah, that's something we could talk
You
about.
know. So we can because my boys were
Yeah,
involved in it
yeah.
as a
That's
dad.
so funny, man. But yeah, man, again, I want to thank you for being on the podcast. I know we talked about it previously, and then I just called you abruptly, like, "Hey, jump on the podcast with me." But
Man, I'm used
I
to that.
know
I'm
it.
used to that.
But I really appreciate it. I really want to say thank you for being a dad, being a mentor, being a dad, and the things and the examples that you show us just from your everyday life, man, just from being around you and everything like that. I just really want to tell you thank you and we appreciate you and we love you.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
no.
there, man. Oh,
That's my the appreciation part of the whole thing because this podcast was born out of just curiosity of how other dads do it. You know, trying to,
yeah,
as the
yeah,
saying say, giving the drummer some. I want to give dad some,
yeah,
just that space where we can talk, we can chat, talk about whatever, but
yeah.
and really talk about our experience as a dad. So, to jump right in, I always come with some kooky question. Today's question is, and this is really not kooky, but what's something one of your kids said recently that made you stop and think, wow, I might be doing this parenting thing right?
What? Oh gosh, there's been so many things. Both of my said just in the past few. Dang, Aaron told me when I first started my job here at Spartan. They both told me, "Dad, you've done everything for us. It's your time to enjoy your own life. So go do this." That was one, and then recently, Drew works with me, so he comes and he's like, I'm listening to him downstairs as he talks to the other guy. He's like, "Man, I'm telling y'all, don't mess with my dad because he gonna need you to be on point." And I was thinking, dang, do I actually act like that? And then we get there, and he's just telling us, "See, that's my dad. You know, he gonna want you on point." I was like, "This boy right here." I was like, "Is he excited?" So that makes me happy because I'm thinking, I guess he's listened to a lot of stuff that I didn't think he
Yeah.
listened to.
So that would make you feel like you're doing it right, man.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I guess I did do something right because most of the time, as a dad, man, that's sometimes, well, most of the time, I think I get
Yeah.
it wrong. I'm like, dang, I shouldn't have said it that way. That was too harsh. Or, dang, man, I didn't even do that. So, yeah, sometimes, most of the time, I think I'm
Yeah.
getting it wrong.
How does it make you feel, man?
Man, I'm always, and I guess a lot of it is me too, because I'm always wanted to be better and better, and it makes me feel like I disappointed them, and they'll remind me. Both of my boys remind me, like, Dad, no, like on Father's Day, my son sent me a text and said, "I just want you to know I love you, the best dad in the world. I wouldn't want any other dad." And I was just thinking, man, but that's what he texted me, and I was thinking, okay, but in my head, I'm thinking, but man, I could have did this, or I wanted him to have this life, and that wasn't what's supposed to be. Where we are right now is what they
Mhm.
love. and what I love. So,
That's cool.
but sometimes I get hard on
Yeah.
myself.
I think that's with all dads. Like we can't help it. Like it's we're
Yeah.
supposed to give the world, but we're human, and
Yeah.
you can't get around that.
I think, man, the big thing with that is that we are supposed to give the world, but the reason why we fall apart and have those second guesses is because we don't take care of ourselves because we think we're supposed to give the world and forget our own
Hmm.
selves. So we're giving the world and we haven't been taking care of who we are. So then when we come back, sometimes we can't even take care of the ones we're supposed to be giving the world to.
Yeah, that's a different perspective. Never thought about that. Um,
So,
Great. I love it. No, but I want to go back to when you first became that. How old are your sons?
my sons are 25 and 21 in a week.
See, I'm not gonna be like what 21, but okay.
You can say they 25 and 21. Yeah, Aaron's gonna be 21.
Mm,
You getting
Yeah,
old
yeah,
when they
yeah. He's
21.
20.
Drew's your age when I first met you.
Right, right. That's the
And Drew was this little bitty boy when I first
right.
met you.
That's the crazy thing that blows my mind every day. It's like how old I am, you know, and just realizing that, and I have my two, and like how far I have to go. But
Yeah.
just thinking about it, because I'm much closer to the beginning than you are. But think back to when you was first becoming a dad. What was the emotion, the feel? Were you guys married?
Oh, we were
Okay.
married, yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, it was a two emotions. I was scared to death because I didn't know how to be a dad. My dad was never there, so I didn't know how to do that. My stepdad was there, but his way of being a dad was working.
Mhm.
So I was trying to figure this out. Like I don't know how to do this, but I'm finna be a dad. And then on the other end, it was like, wow, I got a baby. It's mine. Okay, so it was crazy because I remember when Andrew was born. I remember when both of them. But I remember when Andrew was born. I was standing right there, right looking at the nurse, like the nurse and the doctor, like, what we finna do? Let's do this. And I'm literally standing there rubbing the crown of his head in my wife's vagina. And the doctor comes in and is like, you cannot do that. You would give her all kind of infections. But I was thinking, man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, so I got in trouble in the birthing room because I'm touching her and not realize, she wide open and I'm over there rubbing the head of the baby.
You just in there doing something.
I'm in there just doing something just in there. But you got to think, man, I was 25. I was a kid. So I'm thinking, wow, this is so cool. So I'm standing there rubbing it. And her doctor comes in and she's like, Antonio McMath, you cannot. She said, you will give it as a child. You give her all kind of infections. I was like, oh,
My bad.
exactly. That's how I thought. Like, okay, my bad. Shoot, you left her wide open for me. So you know you can't ask me questions like this,
I
man.
know it, man. That's all good, man. All good. I was gonna ask you, man, what were some of the challenges that you had while raising two boys in today's society?
Biggest was making sure that they understood what it meant to be a man,
Hmm.
and that in being that, I, I, I I'm a lot different than most dads because I wanted my boys to be able to cry. I wanted them to have feelings. I wanted them to be able to talk and express. And twofolds of this is that one, growing up, you were told as a boy, you don't cry, you ain't doing all that, be a man. That's what my uncles and them said. And then on the other end, we were told, if you let your kids talk to you and say this to you, you acting like you white. And they would tell me stuff like this. And I'm thinking, man, that's crazy. So when I had my own boys, I said, we're gonna do this different. They're real people. I'm gonna give them a voice, and they had a voice. I mean, they could say stuff, and people would be like, "Did they say that?" Yes, they can talk to me. But now, looking at 25 and 21, we have one of the most amazing relationships because we still talk.
Mhm.
Talk about everything. And yes, sometimes they don't like it. Sometimes they're okay, Dad, and they go still mess up. They still do their thing, but we talk,
Mhm.
and that's just something that I wanted. I was like, I didn't want to be like the old black black people were, where you just don't and you hide everything. I didn't want that. I wanted them to be able to emotionally share how they feel, but then also I want to be great men. So it was like, well, how do we do this? Because I think that's what I heard a lot of us in the black community in the first place is that we hid so much stuff that by the time we got older, we were still so damaged we couldn't fix it. And
Mhm.
we went through marriages and we went through life, and it was crazy. I mean, that's what I told my wife. Like, we're not getting divorced. That doesn't happen. I don't care what we go through. Because I see my parents do that because that's what they knew. You go through this, you get a divorce. No, ain't happening. We gonna change the whole narrative here, and that's what we did. That's what we did. Even with my boys, we changed the narrative. Like, I have my son working with me.
Yeah.
Like, my son's my roommate because we're in Michigan right now.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's like some cool stuff, and I get to hang with him. I get to laugh with him. Then when I go home, I get to laugh with Aaron, and because they're two different personalities, two different guys.
Yeah.
So you just got to stop me because I'll roll, sir.
No, no, I want you to. Hey, man, this is you, all you, man. You roll what you got to roll at, man.
I'm
Because
just saying it'll be 10 o'clock at night and I'll still be talking over here.
hey, I'm gonna still be here working with you, man.
Okay,
Because
then, if that's what you say, then shoot. Let's go in there.
I be like, talk, man, because man, like really the biggest thing is for me, and when I listen to people have conversations, it's questions that I had never, you know, even thought about, or things that I had never even thought to do. You
Yeah.
know, one thing that always stuck out, and I've told you this before, but I want to kind of dive into it a little bit.
Mhm.
Uh, I remember I stayed over your house for some reason. I can't remember why I
I
was
don't remember.
spent the
Yeah.
night over there, but the boys was getting up and maybe going to camp or something like that. Your wife was going to work and we was going to work. Um,
They were actually going to school. It was in the fall.
oh, okay. And when we woke up, before we left out the house, we prayed,
Yeah.
and that stuck with me to this day. Like we do that today.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah. So it's like, why was that important for your family? And on top of that, what were some other things that it's a must we do?
So that was because we're Christians, and the biggest thing that I always saw is that we went black, and I hate to say it like this, but we go to church. Black people
Yeah.
go to church, but that's it. After Sunday, it's like we're a whole different people. And on Sunday, we doll up, we act different. But during the week, we didn't act like that, and it bothered me because I watched my mom and them do it. And I watched it, and I'm thinking, but why can't you be a Christian every day?
Yeah.
Yes, you don't make mistakes, but why can't you be it every day? So I said I want them to see what it's like because we're going. And I told my wife we're going to make mistakes. I knew me and her were going to make mistakes. However, I wanted them to know there was something far greater than me and her. And we had implemented in everything that we did that the reason why we pray is like, okay, God, it's your protection when we leave this house. Because we may not come back. We may not even see each other again. So I need you to protect us, but also to help them as they're in school and as they're learning, that they learn to talk to you. So it was really trying to instill, you need to have something far greater than you, and you need to have Christ so that it's far greater than you. And even now, I'll sort of tell you this, and this will just spin on that. So, like in March, they diagnosed me with colon cancer, right?
Hmm.
So I had to tell my boys that. But I also had to remind them, you saw the prayer when they were little because that's what we did every day. But that was for like now. That wasn't for then.
Yeah.
It was for like now because when I told them, hey, they told me I had colon cancer, Aaron fell apart and then he looked up, he said, no, Dad, because God got you. And then he went to pray. Those are the things of why I did that. Because
Hmm.
I know that one day I'm not going to be here. And I remind them of that just like when my mom died, I'm like, there's going to be a day that you're going to look up and it won't be the same like you see it every day now. The experiences that you're having now one day are going to end. So
Mm-hmm.
either you make the best of every single experience and you learn and you teach them things, or you go through life, "Oh, I'm so frustrated and everything so," and you miss it and you miss and you never know when the last day you're gonna do this or the last day you're gonna do this. Okay, like your son. Tell me this, and I'm asking you a question on your own podcast. When was the
Go ahead. Go
last
ahead.
time you tucked him in the bed?
Last night.
Okay. Do you know when the last time you're gonna ever be able to do that?
No.
So why not make that the best thing every time you tuck it in? Because I promise you this: one day you're gonna look up, and 10 years have passed, and you have want to have tucked him in the bed for 10 years, and you're gonna look back and be like, "Wow, I remember I used to do this every night." Because I used to sit
Mm-hmm.
by my son's bed and read him a book. Never thought that would end, but guess what? He's 25 now. He has his own apartment. I don't sit by his bed and read to him. But during the moment, I wasn't thinking, man, that's going to end. I just thought, this is my baby.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
looking back, I said, every moment, make the best of it because guess what? One day our lives are going to end. So that's why all of that led up to why I did those prayers.
Man, those prayers that really stuck out to me because that was the first time I ever saw it in action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you never see, and especially a dad leading it. Like you
yeah,
don't see that at home. I didn't.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we coming out the house. It's like, all right, I'll see you later.
yeah,
You know, if we get that, but to see dad leading prayer and leading somebody that he just spent the night at the house. Like, now you included too.
yeah,
Like that meant so much to me as a little brother, as a mentee, as a boss to employee. It meant so much to me that I said that's what I want to do.
yeah,
You know, and I was like, man, this is amazing. This guy, like, when you did that, you reached another level to me that I was like, this guy has to be in my life.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
because I need stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, which brings me to the aspect of mentorship with you.
Yeah.
As far as like how did you get into it and how did you balance it between mentoring and your family?
Man, gosh, I started mentoring. I was early 20s, and I started with Student Venture, uh, doing ministry at Howard.
Mhm.
At the beginning, I wasn't married, and then got married and had kids, and it was crazy because all of a sudden I'm doing this ministry, but Andrew went with me. Andrew was on campus with me at UTC. Andrew was at Student Venture in the middle of those Howard kids. Uh, Andrew would be everyone. I would have kids come to the room to come get him to walk down the hall, just so he could walk down the hall and get some chips.
Yeah.
So he became a part of it. He became a part of everything I did. So he saw what I did with people. That's why when
Mhm.
you came to the house, it wasn't unusual to us or to them to say, "Hey, you come and pray too," because that's how we live. They were part of all of it. So I think the hardest part is as they got older, and then all of a sudden it was mentoring their friends
Mhm.
because they would bring their friends over, and they would say, "Dad, you need to talk to me. You need to talk to me about this." Well, those relationships would grow, and then it'd be like, "Oh, Dad, he want to talk to you again," and I would be like, "But you the one who introduced me. You the one who told me to talk to him about this." And I think sometimes they got envious of the fact that their friends would call. But it's changed again because now it's like we have Aaron has his best friend living in the house with us.
Mhm.
You know why? Because one day around it was January, he said, "Dad, Eli wants to come live with us, but he don't know if you'll let him." I said, "Tell Eli to call me." The little guy calls me. His dad died about 3 years ago, and he was like, "Mr. Antonio, can I come stay with y'all?" And I said, "We got to talk to your granny. If your granny's okay with it, I don't care." And this boy's been with us since January, living in the house. Andrew had a friend the same way. He lived with us for 3 years doing high school
Yeah.
because they would say, "Dad, I don't want them to be out there." And so for them, they become the very product of it. Like they will take in the world now. And I
Mhm.
have to remind them because they're so loving and so vulnerable. I have to say, no, you can't do that. But then I look back and I say, but that's my fault because that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And it's hard though because you have so much, and there's so much love and compassion that is all of a sudden it's like it becomes a burden. So it became a burden
Mhm.
for me and for them. Like, I'm tired. And it's crazy now when I look back because I think, man, if I had just been over here with them, but they wouldn't have the life that they have, nor would they have the experience or and all that stuff of where they're going in their own lives. So a lot
Mhm.
of it was needed so they could become the men they were supposed to. Even though I would do stuff and I'm thinking, man, I shouldn't have. God knew exactly what he was doing to say, okay, I know what I have in them and where I want them to be. But there's going to be some things that you're going to go through and do that they're going to see and they're going to have to experience so that they can be there, so they can be these great guys. So,
Yeah.
like, Aaron wants to be a teacher. I'm thinking, cool. So he's in school now to become a teacher because he wants to help people, which is funny to hear him say it out of his mouth, but I'm thinking that's what he wants to do.
Right. I still picture them as little babies. You
No,
just I
watch
know
the
it. I
way
know
they
it. I know it. Um, one thing I always is a couple questions I'm gonna ask you today that I ask everybody.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to fatherhood, the word, the action, right? What
Mhm.
were your thoughts before you became a father, and what changed after you been a dad?
My thoughts before, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know this.
Yeah.
And now that I've become a dad, I still don't know this. I'm still learning, even with
Yeah.
the 25 and 21-year-old, because each stage is so different.
Mhm.
When they were these little bitty infants and babies, so different than when they were toddlers, so different when they were teenagers, so different when they were now that they're adults. So I'm still learning. I'm still scared sometimes. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I do it? Now that what goes through my head is that what happens when I die? What's the legacy? What are
Mhm.
they taking? And so I still don't know because I'm still figuring it out. Is there things that when they were toddlers that I wish or whatever I knew? No, because I was learning. I was learning what this personality was, and because they were two totally different personalities. So I was trying to figure it out and learning it. Learning when Aaron has seizures, what do you do with that? How do you love on
Mhm.
him even more, but then not let Andrew feel like he's left out? So things like that, and then or when your son doesn't listen to anything, and you tell him this is the worst decision in the world, and you have to just sit back and let him fail. That was a learning process. I didn't know how to do that. Yet people gave me suggestions. You should do this. No, because that works. It didn't work for you. It's not going to work for me because they're totally different kids.
Mhm.
So you can't give me that advice. I'm going to have to learn a lot. And a lot of time, it was a lot of saying, okay, God, what do I do? It was a lot of prayer because I'm thinking, I don't know. I have a 25 and 21-year-old, and do you really think I know how to really guide them to this next level of being these adults, of having kids, of being dads themselves? What I'm doing is saying, okay, every single step, I'm there. I'm right there present in everything. So I'm making sure I'm present. I'm learning, and then I'm giving the advice the best way I can. Here we go. This is what I would do. But know this, your child is going to be so different. Your child is going to rock your world. Your child is going
Mhm.
to have a holding brand. And if you have two of them, they're going to be two different personalities in the house. And I can't tell you to do this or this because that may not work.
Mhm.
So you got to listen to them. You got to love them. When they make those mistakes, let them make them. Because how do you think they grow? How do you think they become the man and women they're supposed to be if they don't make some mistakes? Let them fail.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I used that on my cousin before. Like my
yeah,
cousin, he pretty much was like my first child,
yeah,
and he got to become a teenager, and he started feeling himself, and I was like, man, you gotta let him run to that wall.
yeah. Man, your
You
kids are
can
going to
tell
start
him,
feeling
but
themselves. Just wait.
oh, I know it.
They ain't
They
done it yet, but just wait. And all the stuff that you said, They won't do that. All the stuff you said, man, I can't believe I did that around to my mom or to my dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be things they're gonna do. You're gonna be like, boy, I promise you, I take your whole head off. But they are, and you're gonna have to sometimes go in a room, take a deep breath, and say, okay, he's learning. So how
Yeah.
do I help? How do I help him to this next level?
Yeah.
I put you out the house one night.
Yeah.
Out the house. I said, get out. With the clothes he had on his back. And he stood out, he sat outside until 3 o'clock in the morning crying because he lied to me.
Yeah.
And then when I went and got him, he still lied to me. I said, okay. All over girls, okay, that's what you want. If you because he puffed up. If you think she's gonna let you come stay at her house, get out. Bye. But remember this, you ain't bought nothing in this house. So take nothing with you.
Yeah.
And he bought an Evelyn rolled over in the bed and said, baby, let him in the house. Okay. I let him in. I said, and this is how this is gonna roll. You getting up for school. You see them pair of khakis right there? You got two. See them two shirts right there? You got two. See them shoes right there? That's all you will be wearing to school.
Yeah.
In your bag, lie to me again. And he was like, serious. I said, took everything out of his room. Everything. I was crazy. Took everything out of his room. I said, you know what? You're gonna learn this lesson. And man, he got to school, had the little girl bring him a bag. He know
Yeah.
he know who his dad is. I knew this was gonna happen. So he thought I was gone. I come right on back up there, called the teacher that I knew because she was my friend. I said, hey, did someone bring him something? She said, yeah, this little girl just brought him back. I said, okay, take it from him.
Mm.
She done bought him a whole outfit. I pulled right on back up there, said, give me that bag, and threw it in the dumpster. She calls me. Well, not calling like on the phone. We're in the hallway of the school. Did you throw my bag away? My mom bought that bag. I said, girl, I don't care. Don't bring my son nothing else. He has to learn this lesson. And that's one thing you're not gonna do. You're not right for him. Not.
Mm-hmm.
So no. And he hated it. But now when he looks back, he remembers like, dang, dad, you're right. Because she was terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, but I could see that. I knew you couldn't see that. And there's things that it's crazy, man, as a dad. There's things that I would notice and see, and I'm thinking, God, this is gonna damage him. I got and sometimes I can fix it, sometimes I can't. Sometimes
Right.
he just has to go through it.
Yeah.
And that's the hard one when you watch him and you know if you'd have just listened.
Right. You just turn right one
Yeah.
time. Avoid everything.
Like right now he's going through it, but I said, hey, you chose this and I'm gonna let you suffer through this.
Yeah. Yeah. What's what's one lesson that you've learned that you basically failed? What's the biggest failure that you had that you got the biggest lesson learned out of? And from fatherhood, from mentorship, whatever. Life.
Not being completely transparent and not being myself.
Mhm.
When I as a dad, you know you want to be Superman. You want everything to be right. We know it can't be. And so a lot of times I wouldn't be just completely transparent. Like, this is what I'm going through. This is where I'm at. I've learned that over the process of time of having my boys and everything is that, there's no need to hide nothing. I mean, they know stuff that most parents be like, you don't tell your kids that. And it doesn't matter
Mhm.
because for them to be these great men, they have to know that I struggle. They have to know that I have some weak points. And I failed at that at first because I was thinking you had to be Superman. You
Mhm.
always got to be on point. You always got to make it right. And even it got to the point. That's what my wife calls me. It's like you're Superman. You can do anything. We never have to worry. But then there's also times that that's not true. And I don't. They've seen me cry in front of them. They've seen all that because I got to the point where I said, you know what? If I'm gonna make these guys the best men, if I'm gonna be the man that they need to see when they're going through struggles, then I got to be that real man. I got to be real, and I gotta love me. So the other
Mhm.
part was loving me more than anything else. And what I thought when I first got in this, and the reason why I say that's the first, because I thought that was selfish to even
Yeah.
think about me, to
Yeah.
do that. And what I realized, if I'm ever going to be the man I'm supposed to be, if I'm ever going to train my boys to be these great men, if I don't love me first, I can't train them because there's no way I can love them. And so
Mhm.
I started taking care of me and taking care of who Antonio was and what God had made me to be. And the craziest thing is, the more I loved me, the more I loved them.
Yeah.
Because what I realized is, you know what? The reason why I'm loving me is because I have these guys and my wife standing here, and I gotta make a life for them. I gotta leave a legacy for them. And so I gotta push. And if I'm not taking care of me, there's no way I can push. If I'm not taking care of me, I can't take care of them. I can't come home and be 100 when I I'm already drained and I'm like a 10. I can't come home
Mhm.
and fake that. So I have to always remember, if I take care of me and make myself 100, when I get home, I'm always 100.
Yeah.
That's what they needed.
Yeah.
And that's what they need
Why
now.
why
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, why is it that when it comes to men, dad, father figures, it's have to be I'm selfish if I think of myself, because when you said that, I also thought the same thing. It was like, I have to be X, Y, and Z for my clan, my people, my family,
Because we're
but it's
told
like,
that.
how do you
We're
huh?
told, become this man, take care of your family. You got to do this. And the minute you think about, well, what about me? What about Tommy? Because I'm hurting right now. When do I get to say that? You don't, because you got to take care of them. And that's not true. Because if Tommy or Antonio don't take care of themselves, there's nowhere in the world I can take care of them, because I'm already struggling.
Mhm.
And for me to go back and try to do this, I'm only hurting them. It's that old saying that everybody used to say, hurt people hurt people. So why doesn't that
Mhm.
apply to dads? If I'm hurt, what do you think I'm doing to my family if I'm already hurt? I'm just gonna hurt them even more.
Yeah.
But if I'm healed and I'm free, guess what? They're gonna be healed. They're gonna be free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what matters, is that if I'm healed, guess what? My whole family is. If I'm excited about life and enjoying life, my whole family does.
That's one thing I say when somebody be like, "Well, how's the family?" I say everybody's eating,
Yeah.
in the sense of every everybody, including myself, we're all eating. So if we're
Exactly.
eating, we're good, you
Yeah.
know. But it took so much, because I had that same lesson. I had it a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
like that epiphany this year. My dad died earlier this year, and I've been going through things mentally with that fact, because it wasn't about, I talk to my dad all the time, because he wasn't able to talk and everything like that. But it's more so about, I'm the oldest Tommy in my family. Um I don't have him to lean on, as far as him just being alive,
Yeah.
you know. So now it's like I'm taking on this added, I don't even want to say pressure, but it's like this added weight on, just so I can make sure that they're straight, make sure my mom, my sister is straight, my nieces and everything, because I have the family. I have the keys to the castle now. When we talk about legacy, when we talk about leaving something behind, it was like, all right, these things are left behind for me to make sure that I take care of.
But if the king is more out, what is the king gonna do?
King gonna go to sleep. That's what he
Yeah.
good.
And everybody else will suffer, because guess what? Yes, I fight like hell for my family. But if I don't take the time to make sure I'm okay, all of a sudden
Hmm.
everybody else is falling apart. And then I'm wondering, what's going on? What's going on? Because I'm still falling apart, and yet I'm still trying to be Superman.
Yeah,
And granted, I want to be Superman for my wife, but sometimes Superman takes off his cape, and sometimes
yeah,
Superman goes in a room and lays down, and it's okay, because when he gets back up, he's just as strong.
yeah,
Because me being strong don't mean I don't fall apart. Me being strong don't mean I don't cry. That makes me even stronger. Guess what? Emotionally, I'm hurting right now. So, baby, when they told me I had colon cancer, I bawled.
yeah.
But guess what? I'm sitting here now because guess what they told me as I was flying to Michigan?
What?
That I no longer have it. They got it all cut out. So
Look at
I
God.
just had to go through the process.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all that is. And going through the process, because it made me reevaluate who I was, what I wanted in life, what I wanted my boys to have. And then I went back and like, okay, here we go. And we made it even better.
Yeah.
So I, that's just how I see, man. That's just my perspective on everything. Is that if it's not unto death, I can get past it. All of this.
Yeah. What's it's a way I want to ask this, but I know what the answer is because we talked about it a little bit. But what's that moment that you were like you kind of patted yourself on the back when it came to your kids, your family, your mentees? What was that moment?
The moment
Or
I patted myself on the back with my boys first is the day they were born,
yeah,
because I realized I had a little me and I had to train and I had no clue how, but I knew. I don't know how I knew. I just knew God was gonna make it. And I wrote both of them a letter to
yeah,
they were born while I sat in the hospital, and I gave it to them both when they graduated high school. And all the letters said is that it talked about them going to high school. And I wrote that the day they were born. It
yeah.
talked about them going into life and what they need to do. I wrote them letters so when they turned 25. I wrote them letters so when they turned 30. Because one day I'm not going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem, that I know that one day they're going to be able to open something and be like, Dad, my dad wrote that for me when I was born.
Yeah,
So that makes me proud. For my mentees, is I have now, in the duration of time, seen so many different people that I've got a chance to talk to do amazing. I've seen some fail royally. I've seen
mm-hmm.
some do some crazy, but I've got the chance, and I text them sometimes. I'll see them on Snapchat. I'll see them on Facebook and all that stuff, and I'm thinking, man, I get to talk to these young men. I remember when they were 12. I remember when they were 13. I remember when they were 11, and now I'm talking to them because they're adults,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to hear what that adult life is like, how they feel to be 30. And it's funny because I'll be like, man, you're 30? That means because I started mentoring when I was in my 20s. I was early 20s. I think I was 20 years old. So some of them that were 11 and 13 were real close to my. Well, now when you look at it, they're real close to my age because they're getting ready, they're in their 30s, they're getting ready to go into the 40s, and I'm 50. I'm like, gosh, we were that close to close. And we were, because they were like those 15-year-olds. That was just a
yeah,
5 year difference.
yeah,
So they're 45 now, which is crazy. But I get a chance to see them, and I was in their life as a mentor, 20 years old. And I
yeah,
think, man, I didn't even think I knew that, but evidently I did. Because they'll come back and say, "You don't remember telling me this?" Because I'm learning that shit now too. But yeah, I guess I did say that to you. You listen, but man, it's wild now because, man, I see some great people. I mean, like you, I would have never thought. I mean, you were telling me you worked for me. That was it. You think that's supposed to be the end after we
mm-hmm.
walk away from jobs, and that wasn't.
Yeah. You see, man, you see me boo hoo,
Oh yeah, I
like
know.
big tears.
Yeah, man. And that's the cool thing, is that I've seen life with you, and that was cool. You
Yeah,
saw life with me, and that was cool. And so now we're seeing life on a whole different level. You're seeing life where my boys are grown. I'm seeing life where you got kids
yeah, yeah,
and you're married, and life is amazing.
yeah,
So those are the things that I'm liking to see, man. Like all of a sudden, like, wow, I'm seeing this. I remember this. Or I remember this. I remember we talked about this. I remember he was going through this. And now I'm looking at a whole different side.
right, right.
Get that, man.
That's what's wild to me, man. It's the cool thing about becoming a dad. It's so many different examples of fatherhood in front of me, and so many different people that I can just talk to.
Yeah.
Just randomly going down the street, and my kid doing something, and you see another dad look up, be like, "Yep, I've been there before."
Yeah.
You know, that's the funniest thing in the world to me is be like, "Yeah, you know how it is," type thing. But um, with you, I want you to speak a little bit on being married and having a family, because the beauty, I think, in my experience was we got married, and then I think it's 3 years, 3 or 4 years later, we had a kid.
Yeah.
So we were able to we was together, boyfriend and girlfriend, for 3 years, got married, and then had a kid 3 years later. I think that's the way it rolled. And then another 3 years, we had another one. But in times of us having children, there's been times where we've forgotten that we were, married. Like, we got to focus on the kids, focus on this. What was because me and her has had a talk, like, hey, this is what I need from you, and everything like that. What has been your approach when it comes to balancing all your titles?
I don't think at first I balanced it well. I don't think so. I learned over time the process of balancing it. But at first it was, I gotta go do this. I gotta go do this. Oh, okay, now it's just family. So I would go lean one end or the next, depending on what it was. So I would leave stuff out. I would exclude stuff, which wasn't good on either end. So as I as I learned how to balance it, my biggest thing is really looking at, Evelyn, here's your time. But did you know we got to go do this with the boys? So we found ourselves for 18 years running with the boys. And no matter, I don't care what any parent says, until they're adults, you're gonna run with them and you're gonna miss things that you used to do because your kids are important.
Mhm.
Want to make sure they're taken care of. You want to make sure. Yes, you can have date nights because we had date nights and we loved each other and we had the sex and we did all that stuff. But it's still the pool of that kid every single day for 18 years, whether it's going to a game, whether it's talking to a teacher, whether it's going to do this, whether they need this, whether it's this, whether they're crying, whether they're emotional. All that happens. And you don't get to give 100% to your spouse. You don't. And people can lie and
Mhm.
say, oh, and I give her 100%. You don't, because those kids pull it. And the crazy thing is that once both of our boys became adults and left the house, it's like we were 20 years old again. Like we're on dates every night. We're doing all kind of great stuff. But all of a sudden, it became these 20-year-olds again. And we said, dang, we forgot this. And the date felt different. The
Mhm.
date night felt different because I didn't have to, because as a parent, I may go on a date night, but I also am thinking in the back of my head, are they in bed? Did they do what they're supposed to do? Did they do their homework? What did this happen? And you don't talk about it because you're trying to enjoy your date night, but you're thinking it. Did we do this? Oh gosh, I forgot. And all that happens, and yet we're still having a date night. But when they became adults and we went on a date, like, man, it was crazy. We sit there looking like, I don't have to call them. I don't even have to worry about if they come home. Evelyn, you want a drink? Drink some. Because I didn't have to, it was no longer, but what about this? Oh, we got to get them up in the morning. We got to be home at a certain time because they got to get it. Or we're looking across the table and it's like, hey, it's just us here. I don't
Mhm.
have to order no extra food. It's us. We ain't getting no more plates. It's us. And it was insane because all of a sudden you realize they were with us 24 hours a day. Every time, unless it was a day that when my mom then would keep them, guess what? They were with us.
Mhm.
So in everything we did, they were there. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, they're grown. They're not even coming around. Oh, and then we're gonna drive home and just get in the bed.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's nobody busting in the room. So that's the difference now than when they were growing up. And man, it's different. So I don't think when you have those kids, you get that 100%.
Yeah.
I don't. We may try our hardest to, but they're there, and you cannot exclude them ever because they're there, and it's just life.
Mhm.
But it's a whole different season when they're not. And I don't mean I love my boys to death,
Yeah.
but it's a whole different season now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're just enjoying each other. Like when I get back from Michigan, we're going down to Panama, and you know what we've been saying? We just gonna sit on the beach
Yeah.
because I don't have to worry about a kid.
Right. That's
So
beautiful, man. Y'all are like I love seeing y'all and you sparked such a big place in my heart, you and your family. It's everyday life with you guys. One thing I always ask everybody on here, what's a message you have to your younger self? With your experience today, the day before your first son was born, what do you tell young Antonio?
to just be, and that's that simple. Just be amazing. Just be the best. Just be that failure. Just be vulnerable, but just be. And in that, learn, but just be. Because a lot of times we're so busy trying to fix and do and not do or get it right that we forget to just be. Because in just being, we become even greater because guess what? We allow all those great things and all those mistakes to happen and birth this amazing person we are. So that's what I would tell and in that, that means with me just being, I'm understanding who I am.
Mhm.
That's what I would tell myself. I mean, just Antonio, when this boy come out, just be, because he's gonna need you to be whatever you're supposed to be right there.
Yeah.
And if all he needs you to do is laugh right there, just be that laughter for him. If he needs you to cry right there, be that tear for him. If he needs you just to hug him, be that hug for him.
Mhm.
But just be.
Yeah.
That's what it will be.
That's what's up, man. Um, what else can we say? This was amazing to me.
Man, it's always
Just
amazing
because
talking to you because you become an amazing dad, but you're learning that and that's cool because your kids are gonna look back. And that's what's gonna be the cool thing that when they're adults, they're gonna be like, man, you remember dad did this? You remember dad said that? And they're gonna say stuff and repeat stuff that you're gonna be like, then they actually heard me. Because they did.
yeah.
And then they're gonna mimic stuff that you and your wife do, and it's gonna make them great. So that's the cool thing about watching you now is that your son is gonna one day pop off and be like, Dad, you remember you said this because you didn't know nothing. And you're gonna be like, boy, I hate you in your job. But stuff like that, it's gonna be amazing. And you're gonna be like, man. Or your daughter's gonna bring home that guy and say, Dad, I'm ready to get married. You're gonna be like, no, you're not. Take him home. I know you're 45, but take him away. You get married. But those are gonna be, man, those are gonna be the times though. And they're coming.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. Like I'm excited that one day I'm gonna be a granddad.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
insane that I'm gonna be a granddad one day.
That's yeah.
And
We
my
talk
son's kids are gonna look to me and be like, hey, Pawpaw, or whatever they're gonna call me. They better not call me Pawpaw though. That's an old ugly name. They'll call me Mac. What's up, Mac? I'm like, yeah,
What's up, Matt?
Mac. Like why we call Granddad Mac? Cause he ain't calling me Granddad.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's too funny, man. That is hilarious. Is there anything you would say to your sons?
To my sons, that they're the very best in the world. I would trade them for nothing. My sons are my heart, man. Like I love those boys. With a man, those are two guys right there that can make me fall apart
Yeah.
because they're they're my sons, but
Yeah.
they're so amazing. They're so beautiful. I mean, my boys are. I don't think anybody have boys like mine. My boys are the best boys in the world. Like I would trade them for nothing. That's what I would tell them. That no matter what happens, even when I'm gone, remember you're great. You're the most amazing guys in the world. Most amazing men in the world. And I can't ask for anything better than that. Man, I have some amazing guys in my. My boys are like amazing, man. I love those guys. I do, man. Man, man, my boys they're my babies. And
Yeah.
and crazy because even on the job, they'll ask me about Andrew, and I'm saying, "Yo, that's my baby." And now people on the job know that. Okay, y'all better not say that because he's serious. That's my baby, like ride or die,
Yeah.
best friend,
Yeah.
everything. And I know they say you can't be friends with your kid. My son's 25. He's an adult. He's my best friend. I love that boy. Aaron, on his own way, that's my little best friend. Like we talk about everything. Aaron likes history. Aaron's like talks about politics. He called me today. Did you watch this on the news? Did you see what Trump did? And I was thinking, boy, it is. We called me at 12 o'clock last night. I think it's 12 o'clock at night. We can talk about it. But
Right.
that's that son. He wants to talk. He wants to be like, Dad, did you see that? And I love it. But then, I don't know why you asked me that question because I go on, man, them my babies. Shoot.
I love it. I love it. No, man. Tonyo, man, I really appreciate you sitting down, taking some time out to just talk about being a dad, being a mentor, being that father figure that a lot of people, everybody really needs in their life, man. Again, I want to say thank you for everything that you do, everything that you've done, everything that you will do, man, because I knew off the back when I met you, this is somebody that needs to be in my life. Like, I don't care in what capacity, he just needs to be there. I need to be a phone call away from this guy in whatever, you know. Um, but I really want to tell you, man, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you being on a dad exchange with me, and talking and expressing your love for your boys and your family and being Superman and understanding that you can't be Superman all the time.
Yeah.
But man, I really appreciate that, man. Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Only thing I want to say is, y'all, I know y'all are watching this podcast, but this is a great man that you're listening to. I'm telling y'all, Tommy's amazing. And I don't care what anybody say. I've watched him from 25 to now. I think he's like 59. But I'm telling you, the man is amazing. And I don't think he realizes that himself, just how amazing and awesome he is. Because I've known some stuff he's gone through. To see him now, I will, I would want to be like him
Oh,
because
that's
he's an
cool.
amazing man. So I know that's supposed to be for his podcast, but y'all need to know that because I know people don't give him his props enough. And just how great he is and how great he is to even pull dads together to talk. Man,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So hats off to you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Really appreciate it. Well, guys, that's our episode today. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Dad Exchange. I'm your host, Tommy T. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video, share it out, comment below. Antonio, where can we find anything that you got going on? Because you got a podcast too, right?
I do have a podcast called Warrior Mindset, and it's actually for young men, ages about 10 to about 30, to really help them understand their mindset and how they grow and how they become those great men. So we really talk about social emotional stuff. We talk about learning differences. We even just talk about just being men with all these things going on. So
All right, man. Well, I'll link everything down below in the comments in the description. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.